Hello everyone, welcome to episode 2 of the Diary of a Freetime Artist. We really have to stop meeting like this in my car, but I think that's the whole point of this diary series is when you have free time, right? So I will embrace it. I'm on my lunch break from work and I'm on a Starbucks run, which I definitely needed today. I normally work Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Today is a Tuesday, so it's kind of like my Wednesday, so it's kind of like my hump day, and I needed some coffee to get over the hump. I had some rewards points, and I am not going to say no to free coffee. I did already start filming some clips for this video, so I'm really excited for you guys to see those. It's a little bit of some art supply talk, some talks about relaunching my Patreon, and kind of just some randoms here and there, chats and doodles and all that good stuff. Um, Something completely sidebar is the Starbucks that I go to by work and my house is across the street from a Joann Fabrics, and I just noticed they officially took down the Joann Fabrics signage off the building, and it's kind of sad that it's officially gone. I have been going to Joann Fabrics since I was a kid, and that has been a long time. If you guys don't know, I originally went to school for fashion design. Yes, that is a huge transition from fashion design major to registered nurse. We don't have time to get into how things got to where they are, but I'm sad because Joann Fabrics always had really good coupons for their supplies and fabric and all that good stuff. And I felt like they had really quality supplies, like especially when I got into like painting and illustration and all that stuff. I would say that like my whole golden acrylic paint stash is from Joann Fabrics because they had such great coupons that I could use on those. So it's bittersweet that Joann Fabrics is no longer a thing anymore. So rest in peace, Joann Fabrics. All right, guys, I will leave you here and I hope you enjoy the rest of this video.
It helps the speaker lead his audience into the scene he described by creating an imaginary picture. Usually it's something that moves.
It is Friday the 13th. I don't know if you're superstitious or not. I'm not really superstitious, but I guess I'm cautious to be on the safe side. My to-do list today is exploding. I have had no energy this week to do anything. I feel like yesterday I didn't get anything done, and I had a day off yesterday. So I'm hoping today I can get so much stuff done. I think I'm going to use the Pomodoro technique where I work on something for X amount of time and then take a little break. I'm thinking I might work on like just playing in my sketchbook or that little mini art journal that I'm still working on. There were more pages than I thought there were left on my little 5-minute breaks. The only thing with that is if I sit down to start making art, 5 minutes turns into 10, 10 turns into an hour, and then I don't get anything done. But yeah, hopefully I can just crank a bunch of stuff out. I want to do some more cleaning in the art studio. I really, really, really need to drink my water today. I even pulled out my work bottle that keeps me on track every hour because I didn't drink any water yesterday until we sat down for dinner at like 6 o'clock, which is a big no-no. So yeah, let's see how we go today, and hopefully we can do some fun creative stuff. Um, yeah, I need to figure out a few YouTube things and all the good stuff. But happy Friday the 13th. But it won't be Friday the 13th when you see this, so I hope you had a good Friday the 13th and nothing weird happened. I'm on my first little to-do list break, and I thought that something that would be quick and easy, because I only give myself a 5-minute break when I take a break, is last time we talked about taking off the tassels that were on here. I did that, but now I have this eyelet to deal with. This is getting kind of dirty. It's been in my purse all week, and I've been working on it here and there. It is taking a lot longer than I thought it was going to finish, but that's okay. I've been having fun using it as like a little warm-up, and I don't know, while I'm watching TV or right after I have coffee in the morning and I'm sitting with the dogs, I just pull it out and kind of see where I can add some color. Oh, now I just made a whole eraser mess. Anywho's, I got out a bag of my little small collage pieces. Ignore the bite marks. Rami, one of my cats, he is obsessed with biting plastic, so anytime I have anything plastic, I have to really watch and be careful that he's like not eating it, because I don't know, he's obsessed with biting it. If anybody has a cat that does that, please let me know, because I think it's the most bizarre thing. But I did find the same jelly print paper that I used for the background on here, so I think I'm just gonna cut a little piece out to cover the eyelet on this side. And then for this side, I was thinking, I have this whole jar of buttons. I was thinking just to glue a button. This little green one down here really caught my eye. Unfortunately, I have to dump the whole jar out to get to that green one. Ooh, come on. There it is. Okay. And then I was just thinking of adding just a little button to the cover. I don't know if I like that green one on there, but I'm going to play with a couple buttons and then see. A little heart one? No, that's too cheesy, I think. But yeah, that's what I'm going to work on for my first little 5-minute break. And we'll see how it turns out.
Well then, why?
So I ended up choosing this green little button, and I'm gonna have to get some tweezers and like clean up the little stringy things from the hot glue. And then on this side, I added that little piece. It doesn't look great, but I did go ahead and add a little more confetti. I might add a little more still, just to kind of take focus off that weird little piece, but I do like having the button on there better. And yeah, I think it worked out well. It took longer than 5 minutes. Shocker, I know. That's just how things are. Everything always takes longer than we think. But I'll check back in with you guys in a little bit. I have been seeing these Arctic's acrylic paint markers everywhere lately, and they look pretty interesting to use. Let me know if you've used them. Some of the sets, like the prices are pretty good. Some of them are like, oh my gosh, I don't want to pay that much right now. So I'm really debating on getting these and trying them. I do have quite a few acrylic markers. I have, of course, the Poscas. I have a Sharpie version, and then I also have Karen markers. I'm not a huge fan of the Karen markers, and they're really pricey. They're very similar to the Sharpie acrylic markers or pens, and the Sharpie ones work way better than the expensive Karen markers. So I think I'm going to look through these Arctics ones and maybe add one to my cart. And if I get them, I will definitely show you guys and give you my thoughts on them. I did end up adding a 48 pack of the Arctics acrylic paint markers to my Amazon cart. I have not purchased them yet. I probably will buy them tonight. But in case any of you weren't familiar with the acrylic paint markers that I was talking about, I kind of just wanted to show you guys. I know there's tons and tons of acrylic paint markers out there. If you guys have any recommendations other than the ones I'm about to talk about, please let me know, because I love acrylic paint markers, and I love acrylic paint markers that actually work. These are the Karen markers. These are from Deco Art. I have the pastel set. These are very pricey. This is a pack of maybe, what, 12? And it was like almost $60. And yes, it comes in some nice packaging. Hopefully I have enough room here to show you the packaging. It comes in like this nice box with a holder right here. But for $60, I could do without this fancy schmancy packaging and just give me a acrylic paint marker that works better. They have like a brush tip to them, which is nice. They're okay. As you can see, the paint and the pigment kind of separate, and you can kind of see it separate in your, like when you're drawing. So I think that's why I don't like them. And you really have to like shake them up a lot. Of course, I have a lot of different colors of Posca. Again, you can hear that. You have to shake these and prime your nibs. But I do really like how these lay color. These are pretty opaque. And then when I was going through my acrylic paint markers, I also have this brand. It's by Artistro. I hate these. These are absolutely horrible. Like when you use them for the first time, they're great. But after that, getting them to work is a pain. As you can see, I just opened it and it dripped everywhere. And look, sorry, it's shaking the camera. Like, no, absolutely horrible. Which is a bummer because they have some really nice colors. But I will never ever buy these again. I have them in my stash, and now I kind of just like use the nib to like get paint out and create like a dot of it, and I have to use a paintbrush to paint with it if there's a color that I really like this orange. I love this color orange, so I sometimes have to create like a little pool of paint and yeah, use a paintbrush. Defeats the purpose of it being a marker. Anyways, and then let me just clean this up a little bit so I don't get it all over things. The other acrylic paint marker that I have, I don't know that they're technically marketed as acrylic paint markers, but these Sharpie Creative markers, I absolutely love these. These are very similar in the way they look to the Karen markers, so I'll just open a Karen marker and a Sharpie marker. They're like cousins, legit cousins. But the Sharpie cousin works amazing. Look at that. You can shake them up. There's nothing like, there's no like bead or piece of plastic in there to rattle around to shake the paint up. I don't ever really shake them up, but look at these. These are great. The only downside is this is the biggest range of colors that they have. Right here, these are the only colors you can get, which is not bad. Oh, and this purple one that we did. It's not a bad range. I just wish there was, you know, like more shades of like green and oh my gosh. This is what I get for trying to put the camera right in front of my face. I wish there was different shades of green. I wish there was more of a true green. This is kind of like a mint green, and then there's like two turquoise. Sorry, I can't talk right now. And then I wish there was like some skin tones. Like there's not even a brown in here. Um, like at least give me like a brown and a peach so I can maybe layer some skin tones. But they do give you a white. It works pretty good. But yeah, I feel like these Sharpie ones are my favorites for my sketchbook. I feel like the nibs of the Posca, like I love Posca pens, but I feel like the nibs kind of really tear up cheaper paper. So I'm excited to hopefully try these Artix ones because the nibs look very similar to the Sharpies. A little update on Operation Clean the Art Studio. I did get that clean, but of course I'm accumulating some clutter there. I did get this shelf clean. I'm slowly starting to tackle this big guy here, and if I don't know where to put things yet, I'm just putting them in this box, and I am dreading working my way over here because there is so many papers and magazines and stuff like that to work through. Ugh, I feel like I'm procrastinating to make my way over here. But I was looking through this. This is where I keep all of my unfinished paintings, and I'm thinking maybe I should do another finish a painting with me video soon because all of these are unfinished. Same with everything in here. This is all unfinished. There's a lot of unfinished art. Do you guys struggle with not finishing projects? Because I feel like I get more ideas than I have time and I will start it, and the next thing I know, it gets added to this pile. So let me know if you think we should do a paint with me video or finish a painting with me video again soon.
It helps the speaker lead his audience into the scene he describes by creating an imaginary picture.
I found this really cool pop-up book at the library by Duncan Bringingham, and it is full of different ways to make different kinds of pop-ups, which I'm really excited to try after my little worm pull-out creature. I'm excited to play with more pop-ups. And when I was thumbing through this, I was looking at like the different colored papers, and like a light bulb moment went off, and I remember seeing this Duncan Bringingham's YouTube, which I'm going to look for, and I'm going to link it in the description because he has a YouTube where he also shows how to do all the different pop-up folds. So far, I've gotten to page 54. I just pulled out some cardstock that's been sitting in my art studio for quite a while now, and I started just folding away and making like mini little pop-ups, which I'm really excited to try. But now the question is, do I put the pop-ups in like my actual sketchbook and play with them in here? Or do I put them in like one of my mini journals, which I started, oops, the paper is falling out. I started making a new one here, but I'm not sure if a mini journal is going to work because I'm just thinking like when it folds down, it might not, yeah, I don't think it's going to work because it kind of sticks out a little bit still. So maybe I'll have to make either a larger mini journal, or since these are just like little sample ones, maybe I'll just do it in my sketchbook, even though that's going to make my sketchbook really chunky. But I don't know, chunky sketchbooks are also fun. So maybe I'll do it in here because this is cardstock, and I'm thinking like that's going to add quite a bit of bulk. And if I'm adding stuff on top of it, and I feel like this one's already getting pretty chunky, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'm pretty excited to play with these and see what happens. I don't know. What do you guys think? It would be kind of cool to have a bunch of interactive pages in this sketchbook. Should I make a chunky one or designate like one little book for like pop-up playground? I don't know. We'll see what I do. Over the past couple days, I have been playing with the idea of the pop-ups, and I have come to a decision that I'm going to make a separate little pop-up book. And I was going to make a full prototype of the book, but let's be honest, time is already limited, so I do not have time to make a whole prototype and a finished like little pop-up book. So I'm just gonna wing it. I've been kind of playing with a couple of pieces to see if I want this to be small or larger. This right here is a 4x4 square. I think I'm just gonna change it to 4.5 just to be safe. Other decisions that I have made are I am going to use this Canson XL watercolor paper to create my book and my pop-up pieces just because it's thicker and it has more sturdy, and I feel like the more sturdy it is, the more it'll be able to spring up when you turn the pages. I will probably use watercolor paper and maybe this cardstock that I have left over from years ago. And I have begun drawing out some ideas for my little pop-ups. As I was starting to draw them, because I was kind of like looking online for ideas, and like anytime something sparked inspiration, like I would just start sketching. And then as I kept going like page to page, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm drawing the same things from this month's creative inspiration prompts that I have on my Patreon. And I am actually writing a whole story using all of the prompts this month. So these are the prompts for this month. I just cut them out and put them in my sketchbook here, and I'm slowly going through and writing a story. But so now I'm going to have like two things that I'm using the prompts for this month. I am writing a story with the prompts, and then now I'm going to do a little pop-up book, which, if I'm being honest, a lot of the pop-up book ideas that I came up with are scenes that I already thought about for the story. So they kind of like are samesies, but that's okay. Some are different, some are the same. But yeah, I think I'm going to do a whole video process of me making my pop-up book. So I don't know when that will get done. But I don't think that I'm going to go through and like actually teach how to make the pop-ups, because that is not something that I am an expert at, that I should not be teaching. I will leave that to this person here who wrote this book, and like I said, I will link their YouTube. And I think it's going to be a lot of trial and error. And yeah, so I'm excited to at least have some direction. But I'm also a little overwhelmed that I always create these projects that I'm like, oh, that would be such a cool idea. And then I start doing it and I'm like, wow, this is a massive undertaking. And yeah, let's fingers crossed that I can make this happen and it's relatively quick. I do want it to be on the wonky side. I mean, ideally, I don't want it like on the wonky side because I want it to look really nice, but at the same time, I have so many other projects. I don't have time to like make it quote unquote perfect. So I do think if I make it like more wonky and like not perfect lines, it'll have an extra charm to it. So maybe it'll all work out. But I'm going to play with this stuff. I want to at least get my actual book itself cut today, and I do need to sketch a couple more ideas. I'm only going to do 5 scenes. I have 4 that I really like already, 1 that I don't like, so I need to come up with at least 1 more today, and we'll see what happens. I don't know that I will touch base with you guys again about the pop-up in this video, probably in future videos, and hopefully I will be able to get a whole video together of the pop-ups. Well, Luna came to say hi to you guys. She's really snuggly today, but she's getting fur everywhere. If you guys have kitties, you guys can definitely understand and relate to cat fur all over your art supplies.
Usually it's something that moves. Character.
Before I end this video, I did want to touch base with you guys about the Arctic's markers that I did get. The color set that I got, it's called 48E Regular. I have been playing with them in my sketchbook. I do have some thoughts about them, and I will go through more of my thoughts in depth in our next video, but I do want to show you just the colors that I got. I think it's a really good range of colors. They are a little different than I expected. I do feel like there's some pros and cons, but this is the set that I got. I'm actually pretty happy with it. Like I said, I'll go more into detail later, and here I've swatched all the colors in my sketchbook. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, I hope you have an amazing, beautiful, wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here. Goodbye.